Welcome back to Bonded by Bravo. I'm your host, Amy, joined with my co-host.
Hi, Jenna here. How's it going?
I always want to call you Dom Jen.
Please do.
Please do. We used to call each other by our Instagram handles when they were when mine was interesting, but yours has always been interesting.
Yep.
Dom Jen, where are you?
I am in Philly on no sleep.
Yay, she's back.
I even tried listening to like a sleep playlist, but it didn't really do much.
What is a sleep playlist?
I just typed it into Spotify and it basically gave me like what you listen to and like at the end of like a yoga class and they're like you go into Shavasana and it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was your flight though, otherwise?
Easy.
Yeah.
It felt like quick. Going home sort of sucks. Like going back to San Francisco, it feels longer. I think it is longer. I think it's like longer by like an hour.
What do you guys like? What's your first? It is longer. By like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
What's your first order of business in Philly other than sleep?
I was gonna say sleep. We actually might go to a show tonight at Johnny Brenda's.
Oh God.
I know. It's like so reminiscent and I haven't been there for a show in so long.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
old stomping grounds. Are you gonna get Kyle a cheesesteak across the street at Joe's?
If the time permits, we might go see my cousin at work and she's in like
but even afterwards.
after maybe, yeah. I know. We're like,
that.
yeah. We're really watching what we're eating right now, so we'll see.
Oh my God.
I know.
Come on.
Annoying.
What are you gonna eat while you're here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't even think. All I can think about is Bravo and Taylor and stuff like that right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to say? Okay, so I posted something controversial on my Instagram this week, and
I saw it.
that way. So one of my friends,
We got to get into this.
not tweeted. Oh my God! See, this is where I'm a grandma.
X?
One of my friends
I don't know what's
threaded,
Oh.
wrote a thread.
Sure.
And I said, can you make this shareable? Because I don't know how to do a thread. But I'm going to say it. And it said, I am so sick of the Taylor Swift era and her face everywhere. I need a Taylor Swift break. And I reposted that, not retweeted it, because I need a break. I need the Super Bowl to be over. But now with this announcement of her new album, we'll get into that. I need a break. I need to not see her on my feed, on my screen, mentioned in my podcasts for like a good 6 months. And I remember you said Jennifer Lawrence did this, and Taylor, I need a break.
I totally get that. I do have to note that it's not like her doing it. Like she's not picking the clips and putting them on TV. Like it's just the NFL has, and I said this last week, the NFL is like ruining this for her, for us, all of it. And then you got all these, what did you call them? Dad chads and whatever, all pissed off. And that's a whole other thing. Like I think it's one thing for us to be a little like overseeing her all the time as opposed to like being like, she's ruining it and this and that. And it's like, okay, I don't remember who said it. It was either Scott Galloway or maybe Charles Barkley. Scott Galloway is that guy I was talking about. He's like he's one of the hosts of the Pivot podcast with Kara Swisher. It's a really great it's a business podcast, I'd say. He's like kind of like a marketing guru from NYU and just has a lot of prestige and what I think some people, he was actually, you know what? You probably have definitely heard him because he's been on Armchair Experts.
Okay.
And some people can find him a little abrasive, maybe. Like both of them can be, but I kind of like it. Yeah. And he was talking about, he's like, this is such a bigger issue. Like, why are we getting why are people so upset that she's everywhere? It's like, it's speaking to, he was like, when Giselle and Tom Brady were together, it wasn't this big thing, but it's like, Giselle was never more powerful than Tom Brady. Taylor Swift will forever be more powerful and no matter what Travis Kelce does, she's just going to be more powerful, and men do not like that. And he was like, we need to sit back and think about like what's happening here. Like this is a reflection of who we are as a nation, that we can't handle this. And I was like, this is interesting because the people are pissed and they're putting a lot on her. Like
But see,
if
I
he
don't.
wins, if he loses this game, this is going to be a Taylor Swift problem.
But I also like we could say Giselle and this and that, but Taylor Swift to me also I just she gets on my nerves. Like I said that thing about before that I like her music, but I don't want to see her little mousy face all the time. And I like her music and I've been to her concerts and I want to get on the bandwagon sometimes, and right now I'm just over it. Like
But
I
can I
need
ask
a
you a
break.
question?
Yeah.
If we had to choose who we were seeing all the time, especially like let's say we were parents, like isn't she kind of who we would want our daughters looking up to? Like she's like not a bad role model to have. She
Oh,
you're
she's
making a face,
so boring. She's
but she
so
does like
boring.
she has
I
nothing.
would
No,
want my
no
kid
one.
to have a little more uniqueness. To me, she is so basic white bee. I would want my kid to follow a Pink more than a Taylor Swift. Someone who has some sort of uniqueness about her, and Taylor Swift to me ain't that girl. She got up on that stage on the Grammys night, and I looked at her, and I just was like, and I can't even say that I don't like her music because I do. So I'm like kind of being a hypocrite in this. But at the same time, she's just so basic that everything about her goes against everything I like about people.
I don't think.
And it's
I don't think that you could write all of those songs on your own and produce them and make that music
she doesn't
and
write them all on
be
her own.
basic.
Let's just be
I mean, but she is writing those songs
she
way more
does,
than
but I
any
mean,
other artist out there, frankly.
debatable.
Okay.
Debatable.
Okay.
Debatable. Mm,
Either way, I
I,
think this whole thing is like
I
getting so, it's just
also
kind
if
of
she,
getting gross. Like the whole I hate Taylor, like all of it
I
is
don't
like
hate
such
her.
a, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But so many people online do, and they're coming for her. And it's just like, why are we doing this? Why are we so excited to tear people down? It's like we love to watch them rise, and then it's like, oh, they're too high up. Let's take them right back down. It's just
I
so
would
weird that we
say
do that.
from
And
a
I'm not saying
judge.
I'm not part of the problem. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
there's been plenty. It's the Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears effect.
That's
Like
I
we
was
watched them
thinking
get
that.
to the top, and then we were like, cool, let's take them down.
Because I was thinking, like, this is in the Britney Spears of it all, too.
Yeah.
It gives me, like, that same vibe where they were getting chased by paparazzi and all of that, and that was exciting. And, it's pop culture. It's what it all is. I
And
don't
then we
think
get
it's
sick
Taylor
of it,
Swift.
even though we're the ones making the paparazzi money because we're the ones looking at it. So it's like, it's a
Yeah,
very confusing cycle.
for sure. And I think if she wasn't dating Travis Kelsey right now, I think it would be a totally different thing.
Yep, it would
I
be.
also thought it was weird how they were making a story out of her ditching or dissing Celine Dion.
This
Like
was so
I
insane.
I'm just like overall like I'm over them like over people like creating stories about her. Like just like give it let's just chill. Let's just
The thing that
chill
kind of
and
sucks
relax.
is that like she kind of came out of this this relationship and quote unquote like she was so private in that relationship for so long, and I think she was excited to kind of live her life out loud, and she has access to everything and was kind of like fully enjoying it there for a minute, and then she ended up in this relationship with Travis, and it just sort of got like whew, like it got so taken out of control with the media that now we can't stand to see her, and that sucks because now it's like what's her option to go back into hiding and
I
like be
think
super private? Like that sucks too, like that she doesn't. I feel like she kind of doesn't have a like I don't know, I kind of feel for the girl. I think it sucks. I just think the whole thing kind of sucks, and I just want her to be happy, and that's that.
you love her.
I just think that this whole thing is well, even if it wasn't Taylor, I think the way we're responding to this whole thing is just really indicative of just who we are as a nation, and maybe not even a nation, like globally, and the
I think
excitement we get, the thrill we get in taking people down
And
is
I
just
think you hit the
really
nail on the head
unfortunate.
by saying, like, we love to watch people rise, we love to watch people fall.
Yeah.
I mean, every story in pop culture goes the same.
Yep.
I started watching The Crown. I know that I'm so late in the game, but I started watching that, and I started on this season where they covered the whole Princess Diana story. And it's heartbreaking because that's
Yeah.
exactly, it's all based on the paparazzi and how the paparazzi just
Yeah.
literally killed her
Yeah.
killed
Yeah,
her.
it sucks.
And I, what I'm saying is, I need a break from her on my screen. Again, if she wasn't
Yeah.
with Travis right now, this wouldn't be happening. I think after the Super Bowl, hopefully, I think it's going to die off a little. Then
I
she'll
think so
come
too. And
out.
I'm sure her PR, like she has a smart PR team. I'm sure they're like, we have to get through the Super Bowl. She's going on the
Yeah,
European tour. We
yeah,
won't see her like kind of bopping around the States for a while. So I'm sure that they're ready. They're all probably ready for it to come to some sort of like, just like let the dust settle for a minute. They'll be in the relationship. We'll get over it. Cause I do think I'm starting to really feel like if they weren't long term before, now they're going through this like high intensity paparazzi, and this is gonna in a way bond them, whether it be
yeah.
trauma bonding or not, but it's gonna bond them for sure. This is definitely making them closer.
The one thing I did want to say that we were texting about, why does she always need a sidekick? It is so uncomfortable to me the way that she brought Lana Del Rey up to the stage with her and how she needed her on the red carpet. I feel like every award show she's always, or even at the game, like how she has
Yeah.
Miles Teller's wife with her. Like she always has like a sidekick with her.
For the
What do we
games, it's
think that's
probably like
about?
a fun like I feel like for games and stuff, I would totally bring friends like
Yeah.
that. To me, isn't weird. I guess the Lana Del Rey thing at the Grammys is weird. I don't know. Maybe it's like like a nervous sort of like
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It
Maybe
made
it's
me
like
so
if she has
uncomfortable.
someone else in it, the paparazzi and the headlines are not just about. I have no idea.
Did you see when she was dragging Lana Del Rey up to the? I was
I saw all the stories the next
freaking.
day that
Oh, you
were
didn't see
coming
it?
out. I saw like the video of it, but I tried not to like. Everything was so negative about her online after that I was like, I don't even feel like watching or feeding into any of this.
See,
But I will
watching it in
say,
the moment, it was just cringe because Lana Del Rey wanted no parts of it, and it's like she was like
yeah,
dragging her, and she was nominated in the same category and lost, and then she
yeah,
was making her come up to the stage. I also wanted to say, I feel like at all award shows, I almost did a TikTok on this. Can we stop just cutting to the people who lost? Can we cut to
yeah, that's
anyone
weird.
else in the audience? It's
Yeah, that's
such a
weird.
weird thing when somebody loses an award
Again,
to
going back to
then
the
exactly, and then
yeah,
they get torn apart in the media about how they reacted. You just lost everything you ever worked for in your
yeah,
life's goal, and then you want to have the perfect reaction and then just be put on the cover of page 6 like, oh, sorry, I wasn't so gracious when I
yeah.
lost like my
And then they have
ultimate
to like
dream.
speak out on it. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, what else
But
do
I
you
will say, I
yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I also was not getting a little annoyed of seeing Taylor everywhere. Like I knew it wasn't on her. It's the media. It's clickbait. They get money for all of those hits. But I went back and I was like, okay, maybe I just need to like listen to her music and fall right back. And I like listened to the Midnights album. I was like, yeah, no, she's great. I love her.
See, and I feel all the things I feel, and on Monday night when I was making dinner, put on Midnights.
Yeah, and it's just
And
a great fucking album.
and I want to listen to her music. I just don't want to see her face.
Totally.
I
So
is that a mean? I don't know. I'm
no, I mean,
hypocritical in both of
I
my
think
thoughts.
as long as we're acknowledging that it's not her putting her face everywhere. Like these are cameras
Sure.
catching her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like she's calling page 6 and asking for them to put like run a
No.
story on her. So it's
No.
like this is a little bit out of her hands.
What did you think of the rest of the Grammys? Did you watch?
No.
You saw a clip. No, you
I
didn't.
saw clips. We started watching it and then Sunday night's like my go to bed
Yeah.
early night. So I
Um,
probably was in bed halfway through the Grammys. But I hear
watching.
they were really good.
Yeah, watching the red carpet, it was like one of those moments where I've never felt older. I knew
Didn't
no
know anyone?
one on the red carpet. Knew no one. And the outfits were atrocious. I didn't even know
Yeah.
what was happening. I didn't know any of the people unless it was like Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Oh, I
Miley
did see Miley though,
was
and her. I kept showing. This is so weird, but I've always her arms are so fucking toned. Like I don't know if you've like looked at her arms, but I'm like
obsessed.
zooming in on photos. I'm like, Kyle, look, this is what I'm going for. This is what I'm going for.
Also, like the way that she's tatted is perfect. Her
Perfect.
performance killed it. I loved. She looked
Her,
incredible
she's underestimated. Is
for
that the word?
sure.
I don't know. Her voice is really good and it's really different.
It's so different. It's so raspy. It has so much tone to
Did you
it.
watch that Hulu special she did?
Did I
It
tell
was
me about it?
recent. I
I
think
don't
I
know.
texted you or Jackie about it. Maybe both. It was really good.
I
It was
love a
short.
musical special.
It was like a half hour and it was her doing the songs in her backyard.
Oh my
It's
god,
like,
no, but I just got the
oh my
chills.
God, watch it.
Do you want to know what
And
the
she's, oh
one
my God, it's so good. Did you really
I
not watch
I
that today?
you should because that I love a musical special. I didn't
Yeah,
see
and
it was
she
in her
sings in her
backyard.
backyard, and then she's like in like these small like interviews going through like different headlines from the years past and like kind of giving her take on them.
I saw something like that on TikTok where she did a little bit of that when she was, but
They were
again,
probably
another
pulled
album.
from they were probably pulled from that
Yeah,
video because it was with the album with flowers and
yeah,
yeah, it's like recent.
it's true. All of her, like Malibu's such a good song.
Hmm.
Do you know whose performance did not get enough credit? Fantasia's performance of the Tina Turner, a Big Wheels Keep Up, Proud Mary. That barely made the news. And
Yeah, I
talk
was
about
gonna
a
say I didn't know about it.
performance that she murdered it. Killed it is an understatement. She danced her ass off. She
Oh
did
wow.
Tina Turner justice in the tribute, and nobody talked about it. It was barely a headline, but I guess, people just wanted to talk trash. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and obviously Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs, that
Well,
was
that was
a
just
huge one. Yeah.
that sent me
Yeah.
on like a Spotify rabbit hole.
Yeah, you
Which
were saying country music?
yeah, so I've been like listening to this guy Zach Lane. People are gonna hear that, like they're gonna be like, "Duh, he's been around for a long time." I don't know if he has. I have no idea. I don't know much about him. I know that he's a Birds fan though, because I went down his
Oh,
Instagram, and yeah, he's got some really good songs. He's got one with Maggie Rogers. I know you
wait,
really
say his
like
name
her.
again. Zach what?
Zach, I think it's like Zach Lane Bryan or Zach Bryan, maybe
Oh,
just
you were
Zach
talking
Bryan.
about the guy that was singing with her.
No, so that was
Oh,
Luke Combs, but because
oh,
I
okay.
listened to that song, I think it was like one of the next songs or next artists that came up, and it really got my
Oh,
attention.
okay.
And he has one with Casey
Oh,
Musgraves, one with Maggie Rogers, and they're really good. I
you
recommend.
know who he's dating? He's
Some chick, the BFFs pod, something.
Yeah, Brianna Chicken Fry from Barstool.
What did you call her?
Well, Brianna Chicken Fry. That's her Barstool name. It really is.
Chicken Fried.
Yeah.
Do you listen to that?
I don't, but like I listen to another Barstool podcast,
I'm
so I kind of know
impressed
her.
that you know that. What's the
It's
other Barstool one you listen to?
I
Chicks in the
listen
House.
to No Out and About. It's really good.
What's
It's these
that about?
two gay guys that just talk nonsense. They're more in my
Oh,
age demographic.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Huh.
interesting. Question: since we're on video now, how
Yeah.
many people commented on your video background what you looked like, or was that just my friends and family?
Literally not one.
Okay, every single one of my friends was like, including my husband, was like, "Are you sure you want to look like that when you record a video? Maybe you should put some not look like a sweatshirt." And see, I thought I did something with my hair and I put some makeup on. My other friend said that this plant don't have a fake plant in the background. That's not a fake plant. These are all real plants. Just an
I know
FYI.
that they're real because I watered them. Well, I didn't. Kyle
Thank you.
did. You're welcome.
Shout out Kyle.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was told I should have a better background and I need a new computer for my camera.
All right. You know what? Give us the money. How about
Yeah,
it?
yeah. When we make money off this thing. Anywho, and also shout out
Exactly.
to Dan, our social media guru, who has been setting us up with all of these things. Now, Jen, I'm gonna do an on-air. You're not gonna like this, but
Is this? It's gonna be the
Okay.
Drake thing. I kind of saw some
Okay.
stuff in a text.
So we've all heard about the Drake video.
Yeah, I want to see.
So there was a video that leaked of Drake's ding-a-ling-a-ding-dong.
How did this happen?
I don't know. It looked like he was in a mirror. We allowed to say jerking off? I'm sure jerking off, and he must have seen
We allowed, we make the
something.
rules.
Yeah, I know. I wonder, like, will we get flagged or something? So he was doing that, and
Oh my
apparently
God, I gotta see. I want to see. I want to
he
see.
got caught and somebody took it. And so I have a copy of the video. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna send it to Jenna on real time right now, and she's gonna
Oh,
see
okay.
what her thoughts are on the video. Um,
Well,
I
this is exciting.
I know. Everybody's got the video. Like three of my
Shout
friends
out Drake.
tell me. Here it comes, incoming.
I like need to know. Oh my God. This is on TikTok? That's a big dick.
See, and I said I wasn't impressed. Shout out to my Belgian husband. Hey.
Who took this?
He did. It's like a video of him in the mirror.
Well, like, how did it get leaked?
Well, he obviously sent it to someone.
Whoa. I'm gonna just keep watching it, I guess. Let's get back to the
I was gonna
business.
say, you're
I watched it
mesmerized.
3 times.
You're mesmerized. My friend called it a gummy worm. She's like, look at Drake's gummy worm.
Wow.
And I was,
Started from the bottom.
yeah.
Remember he was
Now-
on Degrassi?
Yes,
From
yeah.
Degrassi to here.
Yeah.
Great show. Shout out Degrassi.
Shout out. I'm glad that that's where that brought you.
Oh boy. Okay, well,
That's the Drake video. You're all caught up.
that's great. I see.
Stop sending your dick pics out.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Kyle just poked his head in. We'll poke back out. I'm working. I'm working here.
I guess after this we got to move on to
Yeah.
so many of the things. I think this week we really wanted to focus about
Miami a
our
little bit.
love of Miami.
Yeah.
We were talking about underrated, and I think Miami is probably the most underrated housewife show.
That's what I've been saying. I'm like, why did Bravo put those two shows on the same night? Like, there's room for other shows, especially from all the stuff I'm seeing about Potomac. I'm like, maybe you should have put it on the same night as Potomac. People would have been more engaged to watch Potomac because Miami was coming on after. But to put it after Beverly Hills in the middle of the week feels like, oh boy, I'm so tired already.
See, yeah, and even last season when I think you told me, oh, really should, because I think the first season it came back, it was on Peacock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was.
It's really underrated. They always bring the fire.
They really do. They're feisty ladies. I also,
Yeah.
I think I put it in the notes, but I kind of forgot that Julia lost a son.
I didn't remember that at all.
I did not remember that. And I was like, wow, this makes her so much more like dynamic and I was really like, oh my God, that is crazy. And then to be going through that place with all the dolls hanging, I was like, oh God, talk about triggers.
So I know you missed a portion, you missed last night's episode. The boat ride from hell. Last night and last week's episode, I feel like that boat ride can be up there with the Scary Island episode. It can be up there with the Cartagena boat ride. That boat ride got so much more chaotic after what you saw. They all get on the boat, they go to the island. While they're at the island of the dead babies, they're like, Julia, don't look at the babies. Don't look at the babies. We just have to pee on the island, though, because we've been drinking. So a few of the women go and pee, and Adriana asked the local guy, what's up with all of these babies? And the guy's like, yeah, they do witchcraft here on the island. Then Julia's on the boat. She starts looking at the babies too intently. She starts crying. Then Alexia starts crying. Then Lars is crying that they're crying. Then Gertie starts crying. They're all crying.
Oh,
Marisol
God.
and Lisa come back to the boat. Oh no, Larsa comes back to the boat with Marisol and Lisa, and they're all like, "Why is everyone crying?" They all get back to the boat. All of a sudden,
And they're all so colorful, I'm sure. Like, and they're
that's
so
exactly.
the outfits.
It's like neons, all the different neons. And then and then Gertie's like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And Nicole's like, you probably have altitude sickness, which I'm gonna say something dumb, but I didn't know Mexico City there would be altitude sickness.
I did not, when I heard that, because I think they said on the episode I saw last week, I was like, oh, wait, but I guess it is like in the mountains, right?
Yeah, I feel so dumb. I had no clue.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So then
I was like, where are they? Colorado?
they're on a gondola. Where is this? So then Gertie starts throwing up as a mariachi band comes down the way, starts playing mariachi, and they're like, "Stop the band! Get off!
Stop the band. Yeah, stop the band. Can you imagine throwing up over the side of the boat and then hearing that music? Like, no. I can't picture me, but I definitely can't picture you. Like, I think the boat's sinking. Like, we're done.
It's like pulling up right next to her head.
No.
It was. I'm like, this can't be. It's one of those
No.
things where you're like, this. It was up there with the Cartagena boat ride. It was so chaotic. They get Gertie in an ambulance. She gets some IVs and then everything.
Oh, is that why I saw the preview? When I saw the preview, I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah, it was dehydration. And then it goes on. I mean, you'll see.
I think I have that right now, honestly. I just texted Kyle. I was like, can I please get a cup of ice water? And he said no. I'm really thirsty, though.
It was crazy. She like got the IV, and as soon as she got the IV of fluids, she was instantly back to life.
Wow, I want one of those.
I know.
How do
Did
I
you ever
get
do that when you were hungover? Get the IVs?
I
About that.
I have a whole story about that, but not for here.
Okay. I feel
Yeah.
like it's the perfect place.
It's an expensive little journey. Shout out Christina for that. No, she was looking up, but I had to get them at like a hospital. It wasn't one of those like things that come to your house. Like it wasn't cute by any means, but I was really rejuvenated. And I remember the next day was remember that thing that they had in the piazza, the winter jam.
Yeah.
And that was the next day, and I was like, let's go. But if I had not gone to get those IVs, I wouldn't have been able to go. So, glass half full.
And that's just like Gertie's story because she
Just
was
like
able to
Gertie.
get Adriana's concert the next
Oh,
day.
perfect.
Ride,
See?
which that was a whole shit show of her like lip syncing. And then
Oh,
they
it didn't
cut-
go well?
No, it was great. And then
Oh,
they
okay.
cut to, I think it was Nicole, who's like, is she lip syncing? It's like, yeah, no crap. She's not singing her already auto-tuned song live in front of 200,000 people.
You know what, though? Good. I give hats off to anyone that I said to you, like, if you can get on stage, you have so much more than I could ever. I couldn't even teach Pilates, okay? Could not teach Pilates. There were 14 reformers in there, and I could not do it.
You're saying you couldn't, but you did do it for a few months.
I taught for 2 classes. That's it.
Okay. Well,
So, but thank you.
kudos.
Kudos. Having that Michael, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't do this. I was eating GABA. It was a whole
And
thing.
I'm like, ah.
Yeah, there are 2 different people in the world. And they're us.
Bringing it back to
Yeah.
Miami. The other thing that I wanted to talk about that's so funny to me is that we never talk about is Kiki being the ultimate MVP.
Let's get her an award. I want her to have the center. What do they hold? Do they hold anything? Yacht?
The center. Oh, the center.
Do they hold? Do they hold anything? Oranges?
Miami?
No.
Miami. Yeah, it's true. What do they hold?
I don't know. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. She should be in the middle.
We have to look that up. What do they hold?
And I really don't like that I know this is going a couple weeks back, but she had that dinner, and the way that the girls did not rally, but Kiki rallies for every single one of you, it was so not chill.
Well, that's what, you know, Kiki really got into that last night. She
Oh, did
sat
she?
there and she got into the fight with Lisa on the boat where Lisa was like
Yes.
crazy.
Lisa's getting, I'm finding her, I'm like, you're too much, girl. You're too much. Like, we get it. All these women have gone through, there was not one person on that goddamn boat that probably has not gone through. Actually, have they literally all gone, except for Gertie?
Yeah. And so you're
Yeah,
saying
so it's like,
that's exactly what happened. You're saying exactly what happened last night.
really?
After the Pride event, they all go to a party. And
To a party.
I'm just thinking, and Julia basically tells Lisa, everybody's kind of sick of your shit. You need to stop talking about Lenny because that's all you talk about.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, Kiki's like, I'm so sick of you. Like, everybody's been through stuff, and we have to hear about your stuff. And Gertie says, you don't even know the name of my kids. Like, I've gone through a divorce. I've been through it. My son's having a tough time, and I don't want to dump all of my business on all of you. You don't even know the name of my son. And Lisa's like, and Lisa starts, like, getting in her face. And Kiki goes, you know what? Maybe all this stuff's happening to you because karma's a bitch.
Shout out
Mic
Kiki.
drop. Kiki walks off. And Gertie's like, no, don't say that, walks off. But I think Kiki deserves full time because I don't think Kiki's a full time. The things that she does, the way she supports the women, majority of the time, the way she shows up, she hypes everybody up.
Yeah.
She says the funniest shit.
Yeah, she's funny too.
So
And I like her confessionals.
Exactly. Exactly.
She's also
So,
stunning.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even realize she had kids.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, she has a son, and I think she said she has a daughter, like 2 little kids. I had no clue.
So then she must not be full time because I feel like we would know that.
See, that's what I thought too. And after this season, give her the
Whatever it
they
is.
hold in Miami.
Yes, she's great. Yeah, this Lenny stuff, I'm like, all right, we gotta wrap this up.
Over it. It's a
Over it.
storyline that is just, it's not giving anymore.
Yeah, it's not giving. Wow, look how Gen Z we are. It's not giving.
Oh God, did I
Apparently
just
that's a
say
Gen Z thing to say.
that? Ew.
I know.
I'm the most geriatric millennial you could get. Are you a millennial?
No, you're not really. I think you're young. You're young 40. No, I'm not at all. There's things that like when you just knew the BFF podcast host name, I was like chicken fry. Like I think you were saying her
I just
name
know her
wrong.
name. I didn't know of who she was, like what podcast she was on.
Still impressive.
Because she's on another podcast. I think it's
Still impressive.
all right, whatever. Don't hype me up.
It's a compliment.
Okay.
Okay. It is. I don't even know if I said that whole word. I'm so tired. I was like compliment.
Should we get into it? See,
Who
this is
dat?
my Amazon again. Hold on.
Can't they just
I'll
like
edit
let it
this
in?
one out.
Okay. Wait, so I really can't have water? Water.
So annoying. Okay.
Okay.
So should we jump into so much to
Vanderpump.
say about VPR?
I actually thought this was a great episode. I like that the first episode was like not so jam packed. Like it was sort of this like re-entry, kind of like a catch up. This is where we're at. And then this episode, I feel like gave us a lot. I thought this was a great episode without any something like crazy happening. There was no like big blowouts. It was just a good episode.
I thought, yeah, I feel like we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
Not a filler episode, but felt like we're kind of establishing what the season's going to be.
Yeah. This stuff, poor Anne. So Anne resigned, is what I've heard.
Shocker.
Poor girl. I wonder what she was getting paid. I need to know. I just need to know.
And is it hourly salary? It's not like she's getting Oh God, health
Probably
benefits.
hourly, right?
Maybe.
I have no idea.
That sounds
Before we
sounds
totally jump in, though, I did want to ask, why do you think Vanderpump Villas is on Hulu and not Peacock?
money.
I know. I just think that's so strange.
It's who Lisa probably sold the show to.
Yeah, I guess I'm
I
shocked
wonder
that
if
you
Bravo
can.
wasn't interested.
Yeah, like but they're interested. So they're not interested in that, but they're interested in the fucking Valley Village or whatever.
Talk about a show that I want to say I'm not going to watch, but
Yeah, yeah.
what are they going to do on that show?
Um, they're gonna they're gonna do first birthday parties, second birthday parties, third birthday parties.
And is it going to be more housewifey?
I hadn't even
No.
thought about it that much, but probably yeah.
Because realistically, we're getting that on the other show. Like, we're getting that on a housewife show.
I have no idea what this is gonna be about, but
Side
Jax
note,
is gonna go be extra to make sure it gets a second season because he claims that this was his idea. And
was
I'm sure he
Sassy's
will let
idea.
us know that in the show without saying it outright. I can't imagine he's not going to make sure that, like, we know this was your idea, Jax.
well, yeah. And to think him and Brittany back on our camera. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I didn't think why would they pick there has to be some sort of contract issue why they picked Hulu over.
It's just
That's
weird.
interesting.
But yeah, so let's get into the episode now. So Tom feeling betrayed by Schwartz
Wait,
was
hold on.
okay.
Are we not going to talk about Amor?
Oh yeah,
That
we can.
situation.
I just feel for her. I don't even know what's happening. I mean, who is she? Where did they find her? Where did she find them?
And she's also so awkward, and I just I just don't understand why. Okay, I just don't
Her
understand why.
texting or her asking Ariana about the party and Ariana being like, "That's fine," and I'll just call the cops. And she was like, "Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay."
I just don't think she's the one for the job because I think all of the viewers are thinking the same thing. We have heard on podcasts over and over for the last however many months. Yeah, they're just communicating through Tom's assistant. They're just communicating. So we've heard this and we're like, oh, okay, they're communicating through Tom's assistant. Now to see what the communicating through the assistant looks like, what we've been hearing on these podcasts, it's like, oh, you've basically just been passively aggressively mentally abusing this poor woman for the
100%.
last 8 months with your own torture, and that's what you've both been doing and saying like, yeah, it's fine, we live together under the same roof, but we've just been like, yeah, it's fine, we're communicating.
Yeah.
And Am was not getting
God
paid
bless.
enough, and she did not have the personality for
No.
when she's like, I'll just come outside with you. I was cringing. And Ariana leaves
for
and
Anne.
goes, Ariana leaves and goes, yeah, I'll just keep existing as I do in my own house.
Yeah.
Glasses on, like, fuck you, bitch.
Justice for Anne. I hope she's out there
poor Anne.
thriving.
Yeah, I can't believe.
Tell some
honestly,
stories, get some money.
I can't believe she made it that long.
God. I mean, she basically made it through the entire scandal.
Yeah. One of the accounts put, one of the Bravo accounts said, put name Anne's job, but wrong answers only. And we should go on there and see what.
Oh
some
my
job
God,
answers
this was
were.
funny.
People were putting like mustache wrangler, worm smuggler. It got a little wild. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to Justice for Anne.
Tom. Speaking of Tom,
Yeah.
he just does not do himself any favors by existing.
To see that conversation between him and Schwartz, I think in a way this season Schwartz is going to get his redemption by
I think so,
kind
too.
of having a little bit of a backbone. Yeah.
I think so too. I think the fact that he said that he felt betrayed by Schwartz was so out of touch. So out of touch. I'm like, you feel betrayed? What do you
You
mean?
put
How?
him in the worst situation, and he
Yeah.
lied and did everything he
And
possibly could for you.
and like it's a money situation. It's not just like a situation, and a money situation is not that's like not a good situation.
And
You
I
know, like
didn't.
did he say a half or $250,000? Like that's it's a lot of money. And to have and he's like he fought so hard or he fought so hard for that name of the bar, and it's like if
Yeah.
you're going to put your name up there, you got to like live your life with integrity. I feel like my words are like
It's okay.
not full.
It's okay. It's okay. Just a few more hours of sleep and you'll get there.
Let me have some water.
Yeah, go ahead. That conversation between him and Schwartz, where Schwartz called him out, it was my favorite line, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but it was my favorite line that Schwartz ever said to him when he said, when they sat down and had that conversation, Schwartz said, I put $500,000 and you put in more. How much money did they put into Schwartz and Sandy's? It's crazy.
I know, it's really crazy.
And everything we're hearing is that it's flailing. And at the end, Schwartz says, I'm going to do what's best for me.
I love that.
I almost got a hard on for Tom Schwartz. I was this close. I was like, oh, this is a side of him you've never seen. Good
But
for
then
him.
it's like, why did he go? I still don't understand why he went on the Viles podcast with Sandoval.
And it gives you that codependent feeling again.
Why does it, like, why didn't he do a separate interview or just, like, not do one at all? Like, Schwartz should learn from all of his previous interviews regarding this whole thing to not do them.
It's true though, because just like you're saying, because in this scene you almost see Schwartz on his redemption tour, and then when you hear him on the Vile Files, he's back to being the Schwartz apologist. Every other sentence on the Vile Files, he's saying, I'm not a Schwartz, or I'm not a Sandoval apologist, I'm not a Sandoval apologist, and then he goes into being a Sandoval apologist. Back to it, yeah.
Yeah,
they're like very toxic for each other, man.
So, I mean, I think Sandoval is really toxic, but okay, actually, we'll get there when we get there. But Schwartz, I hope he has. The thing with these shows, I was like, when we just said we think that he's gonna have a redemption season, I have like wood right next to me. I'm about to knock on it because I feel like every time I say anything about, especially with BPR, you put your eggs in any of these baskets, it's just gonna turn on you the next week.
It always does.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying.
He's gonna watch now. He's gonna do something so unlikable, and like we're gonna have to be like, oh, here we go again on the roller coaster.
You know, this is around the time that we met him in person, and he is.
Yeah.
He's so likable. It's annoying.
He is so likable.
It's so annoying. Like, I definitely, if I was like a single chick, I definitely would have been stupid enough to make out with him. He doesn't have sex appeal by any means, but he's likable.
No. Yeah, he's super likable. He's got so much like, I think I don't think he's putting it on either, like the friendliness. No. I think he is that guy. Like, what did Katie call him? Like, she was like, you're like a serial killer's wet dream. And I was like, honestly, probably same for me. This Libra energy, but we'll get to that.
God, yeah. The charisma. Riz, as the kids are calling it.
Is that what they're calling it?
They call it Riz.
See, look, you are cool. You know stuff.
I think it's... Please, okay.
No chicken fry.
I sound like an idiot.
Okay. So...
Speaking of words that we're going to take back, that conversation with Ariana and Lala. I feel like Lala calling out Ariana, because I kind of agreed with Lala after saying I couldn't stand her last week and that she drives me insane. Her calling out Ariana and being like, why are you living in this house with this man?
Yeah, didn't I text her and say, I will, mark my words, I will never speak for or against Lala for the rest of my existence. She's so likable on screen because she says, like, she was like raising the right question. However, so it's not that my opinion has changed on this necessarily, but I guess I'm like starting to see. I listened to two other podcasts that have talked about this situation, the living situation, I mean, and how they think it's like, yes, it's petty. Like they're the both. I think Danny Pellegrino said he was like, yeah, she's being petty about this house, but also this is 3 months post. Like where were you? Like where would you be 3 months after getting your whole like life kind of blown up? You're in a space of being petty. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know for me personally if that's the route I would go.
Yeah.
But I do think Ariana still has a right to be, upset and being and kind of like, yeah, you broke the home, you don't get to keep it too.
I think as a viewer,
It wouldn't be my move though. I gotta say.
it wouldn't be my move either, and I think as a viewer, we don't like the look of petty on Ariana. We don't like how that looks on her because we have built her up over these last 9 months on this huge pedestal of how much we love her and we adore her, and now she's especially on this podcast, she's our queen. And we don't like the look of petty on her. It doesn't bode well for her. It doesn't look good on her. Again, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that either. I don't think.
The thing is like it is. She talks about it in the after show too. I don't know if you ended up watching.
I didn't. I don't know where to watch that.
They do get into the money stuff a little bit, and she obviously okay. So like when Lala brings up like, why don't you just like live somewhere else?
Yeah.
It's like she would have to pay another rent. She has a cat and a dog. A lot of places don't allow that. Then even if they do, you're paying a lot. Plus you're paying that mortgage, and it's like. The petty, that part, I understand why she's still in the house. What I don't understand, and this is where the pettiness that I can't get on board for, is not just selling the house and taking your cut and running.
Yeah.
Like,
just
call
let them buy you out.
Just let them buy you out. Like, that house is, like, not any, like,
cookie cutter
it's
house,
like it's a
special.
Typical farmhouse. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's not.
That's what I mean too, and him saying like he would buy her out at this point in the game where it's been almost a year.
Does he have money to buy her out? I don't get it. Because in the after show, he was talking about how, or even in the show, I think he was even saying like how he had to go on tour for the money.
Yeah. But he talked about on Biofiles that he offered her money to buy her out.
Where's all
I
this
just
money
think
coming
also
from?
for your mental health to still be living and communicating through someone else, even knowing that you're in that same house, like it physically must cause a tension, a feeling. I also saw when her dog was in the house and Tom was having people over. Are you trusting him with your animals in the house? I wouldn't love that either.
No, God, no. Oh my God.
No.
Not that's. Mm-mm.
No.
Also, can we just point out how I don't know if it was Bravo, the editors, Tom Sandoval, but boy, did they want us to know. We got it. We get it. You are not drinking. They told us like 7 times throughout this episode.
It doesn't mean he's sober though.
I know, but he said he's not because he said he was doing like the mushroom, and I was like kind of like same when I did Dry January.
His mushroom chocolates.
I did mushroom gummies, but whatever.
I think it's no one like just because you're sober, Tom, doesn't make me.
They were shoving it down our throat. I was like, oh my God.
I liked that conversation. I liked how upfront Lala was, and I agree. I think maybe I'll take back a few things. I like taking things back, even though whatever.
That's why I'm not gonna speak for her again. I'm just gonna talk about it I'm just gonna talk about the episode instead of trying to pick a side here because it's too tough.
It is, and you're right. They will always make us eat crow.
Yeah, always.
That's a boomer thing to say. Bam! I'm covering all generations this week.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, you wrote in the outline about the Sheena Solo. That's a sentence.
Yeah, Sheena Solo scene. At first, when I wrote it, I could do without, but then I got to see this like weird dynamic between. Did you see that little like? I don't know if it's tension, but there was definitely something between Brock and Sheena's mom.
Yeah, and
She was like rolling her eyes at him.
well, I would be too. I could not. So
Huh. Okay,
you
this
go
is interesting
first
because
because
I'm.
you said you couldn't believe how supportive Brock was in the
Yeah.
outline, and that
Yeah.
shocked me because
I did.
I audibly made a noise by the words that came out of his mouth and how he wasn't supportive and he was so arrogant in his response of calling her out on her OCD and how she
Yeah.
couldn't leave her daughter.
I just feel like he was like. I think he just like in front of in front of her mom and that other girl there. He was kind of just getting a little frustrated because
And
I'm
I
sure he's
thought,
dealing with it all the time. I also just find Sheena really annoying. I mean, I feel bad that she's going through this
same.
postpartum OCD,
I could have
but
absolutely done without the scene, just to be clear. I will say that.
yeah, I guess just the only part that I liked was I guess not like's not the word, but just seeing that kind of weird because I think that there was tension between them in previous seasons.
See, to me, this made me see cracks between Sheena and Brock.
100%.
Like this scene
100%.
made me see cracks in Sheena and Brock's foundation because what he was saying to her did not feel like a supportive husband to me.
Well, you know what? I'm just like remembering right now that the supportive part that I'm thinking of was not this specific scene. It was going to the recording studio and how he was like supportive there and
Oh yeah,
that she
that's
could
a
kind
scene
of
I
like do
absolutely
that in
done
front of
without.
him. Like I just thought that was cool because some people might find that cringe.
That scene I absolutely could have done without. Could have absolutely done without that scene. Sheena screaming in a booth. I was like, "Get me!" Oh, there were
I know
two
she's ruining
souls.
emo, and I love emo.
Emo
I was
night.
really sad actually. I couldn't go to emo night.
Should
I've
we get
been
into
calling
that?
around. Huh?
Their emo night party. I just was like,
Oh, I'm dying to go. Dying.
and see,
All of my favorite
this was not
songs.
my era. This
I
this is
know.
like, I like pushed it. I went to a Fall Out Boy concert once, and like
Oh my
that
God,
was
look
it
at
for
you.
me. It was my 23rd birthday, and then I was
I
like,
didn't miss Warped Tour
okay.
for like 7 years straight. It
Warped
was
Tour was
so-
something different before it was emo, though. It was alternative, probably.
Yeah, but then it was like The Circus Survives, The Taking Back Sundays, brand new. Oh,
Uh,
so good. So
all
good.
those people that sound like, "I'm not
Oh, yes.
okay," and they all
Kyle
sound
and I listened to
exactly
it
the
quite a
same
bit.
with the same three chords. Okay. Um, yeah, I fine, Sheena, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, then we're at Allie and James, and
Let me tell you, James has a type.
yeah,
James
100%.
sure likes them young,
Yeah,
dumb,
he
and
does.
cute.
I like Allie though.
Yeah.
I think she like can really stand on her own 2 feet, like without James. Honestly,
Let's hope when she's standing there on her own 2 feet without
yeah.
James.
But she when she's talking to Schwartz or about first when she's like,
Can we just stop when she comes out and says that she is, when they go to her confessional shot, and she's like, I started astrology and blah, blah, blah. Like, my
there's
face,
so much money in it.
I
There's
just
so much money.
started cracking up laughing. I was like, I cannot take this girl serious. And then she's going to do Schwartz's chart.
She's probably getting rich as fuck off of it too. Let's be real.
Let's hope. Let's hope. I
She
also
probably
saw a
is. This is like
TikTok of her singing a cover of some song the other day.
the astrology thing is like such a thing here. Like I feel like you meet someone in California. I'm like here. I'm like in Philly, not here. And it's like they're immediately like, "What's your sign?"
I
Like
want
it's
to
like
know
the first
people's
question
sign.
out of
I
people's
do
mouth, and they're
that.
like, "What's your partner? Are you guys matched?" I'm like, I don't fucking know. Jackie actually did my birth chart, and I'm like Libra, Libra, Libra. So like my whatever rising and whatever this, like basically I'm just like
You're
a,
Schwartz.
a total fucking Libra. And when she literally said almost verbatim what Allie said to Schwartz, and I was like, I like stopped the TV. I was like, oh my god, am I Schwartz? Like, I was so nervous.
A people pleaser? I
Yeah,
can see that.
yeah, and like not hates confrontation. Just like wants
Check.
everyone to be Like I want everything to be copacetic all the time. I also really like to look at things from like all sides. Like even if it's like a friend who's going through something with like a, let's say like a guy or a friend, I definitely will want to be like, okay, like let's think about their side. Like let's see all the sides. I want everything to be fair all the time.
Well, hopefully you never get a Sandoval in your life.
Yeah, because that would be bad for me.
Yeah.
Bad, bad, bad. He'd walk all over me. Because it can sometimes feel like there are definitely moments where I'm like, God, I'm like kind of like a walking mat, and I have to like realize and be like, okay, no, this is not the time to be that person.
Yeah, and
Sometimes it is the time.
Yeah. And I find that hard to believe too, that you would be a walking mat.
Yeah, I definitely can be.
I
I would so much rather things be easy and everyone else be like chilling good that like I'll be fine.
I want to confront for a resolution.
Yeah.
I need a resolution, but I don't know if that has anything to do with freaking Pisces or pie charts, astrology. I just thought it was ironic that
I'm starting a business and I'm just doing pie charts.
I just thought it was ironic that James gets these girlfriends that are always like airy fairy, and she's like, and I started it was just like her little low pitched voice talking about astrology. I like astrology. I like Allie. It's just to me, and it was like a few days before that I saw her just strumming her guitar, singing a cover song, YOLO.
I didn't see that. But I do like that she's like, well, to put it nicely, I just think that Schwartz could use a little direction.
That's the thing. She can be so shady. And then when they went to Tom Sandoval's party, she's like, I don't know about this. I didn't realize she was going to be. So they are driving to Schwartz's party. I'm thinking they're both going in. Or I guess we should talk about how Tom sends this weird text. Tom Sandoval. Why do I keep saying Schwartz? Tom Sandoval sends James a text while Schwartz is there inviting James Kennedy to his birthday at his house because now Ariana allows him to have 12 people over if they're gone by midnight.
That's a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, it is. So James Kennedy walks into the party at Sandoval's house, and Ariana.
This was so awkward.
This was the most awkward thing I've ever seen.
This was very produced.
And James's commentary about Tom Sandoval's party is a who's who. Like, who are these people?
Yeah, wait.
No one knows who anyone is.
He said literally like, who are you? Who are you?
Right. Some guy's talking to him, and he's like, who's this guy? The guy's like,
who was that guy? Because he said Katie like kicked him out of the group. I'm like, I've never seen you a day in my life.
No, Katie kicked me out of the group. Bro, you have to be mid-30s. Kicked you out of the group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
I hate Sandoval in this fucking black beater and these pants.
Ew. So
he
then
freaks me out.
Them trying to have this conversation. Obviously, Tom Sandoval does not understand the word accountability. So why James Kennedy thought that he would go there and get an apology from Sandoval, even after all this time, Sandoval still couldn't do it. He couldn't give him an apology.
I know.
He couldn't even try. He has whataboutism, which Schwartz said, and I think it's the perfect thing to say how narcissistic he is, and Schwartz said
Katie and Dana or whatever her name is, I like listened to their podcast for the first time yesterday, the most recent episode. I don't know if I recommend. But they talked about his apologies too. It's like he's never given he's like fine to give an apology, but it has to come with like a but.
Right. And then,
I'm sorry, but and it's like it's so
he doesn't know how.
Annoying. I don't know how people could be friends with someone like that.
No.
Like just apologize and move on. Like, why do you have to? And then him bringing up Kristen from a decade ago. Like, please do not compare that relationship or any of the to the that's comparing apples and oranges. They're just not the same.
They weren't dating, but of course he would bring that up.
Also, Kristen and him were like, that was their thing, was to be messy.
Yeah. I think it's starting to play out. I mean, I love James on my screen. James's quips, his confessionals, they're going to get us through the season.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I definitely recommend watching that after show.
Where do we
Because
watch that?
they got a lot of, there's a lot of things in there. I was shocked that I even watched. I think it just came on. And so I was like, yeah, I'll watch
What is
this.
that? What do you have? Like Peacock?
Yeah, it was on Peacock. It like, you know
I
how
don't have
something will
Peacock.
start right after?
I need to look at that because I don't even know where that is.
Yeah.
Watch what
This is
happens
like
live,
just
obviously.
another comment about when Sandoval was like, I don't even, okay, so this was on the after show. Sandoval was like, I don't even really see James. Like, we're like friends. And he was like downplaying. And like, maybe he's right. Maybe their relationship was like not that close. But the whole thing, when he said, I only see him like once a month. And I was like, once a month in LA? That feels like basically every day.
That's same in New
That's
York.
like kind
That's
of
my
a
best
lot.
friend. How often do you text each other?
But isn't that like kind of a lot? Like once a month?
Once a month? You
To see the
consider
same
one of my
person?
good friends.
Yeah.
And especially, yeah, I would agree.
Especially in LA, because you're making an effort.
Right. Agreed.
So I was like, that's not really painting the picture I think you're trying to paint here.
Yeah.
My takeaway was immediately like, once a month? That's a lot.
You're going to say you're not close with him, but you paid for half of his proposal.
I was thinking that
to his
too.
ex. So what is it, homie?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So before we close out, I wanted to pose a question of the week. And one of the hot topics on Beverly Hills, we'll cover Beverly Hills next week.
Okay.
We just had so much Vanderpump to catch up on, and we
Yeah.
really wanted to talk about Miami because we feel like we haven't been given it the airtime that we thought
I know.
we did. But they talked a lot about in marriages how the men take over the finances and how they're basically just trusting of their men of the finances. And then they posed a question on, I think it was Bravo and Cocktails. Do you trust your man with all the finances, or are you involved with all of that?
Bars are just so separate. We're not married.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Do you share any bills? I mean, you have a domestic partnership similar to
we
most
share
marriages.
we share bills. Like I pay most of the bills. He Venmos me for them.
Yeah.
And
It
then
was
that's
really
it.
interesting because this is how Teresa Giudice got in trouble. Just signing
Yeah, no.
things away.
Everything is very, I mean, we have one joint account for like that we both put in for rent.
Yeah.
And then the bills mostly come out of my account. And then actually yesterday, my alarm went off for him to pay me.
But it's funny because obviously I'm not making millions of dollars for someone to manage the money, but in my relationship too, I'm doing most of the bill paying and managing like majority of the bills. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was interesting. Most of the women were just like, yeah, no, I trust them, blah, blah, blah. But
And I often, even when I'm doing the bills, like every now and then I like check in. I'm like, okay, how much of this can I do by myself? Like just in case, God forbid. But like, I definitely want to make sure that like, if anything were to happen, like I'll be fine.
always.
Yeah.
I could never imagine being in a relationship, even if I was loaded, to just be like, oh, you're in charge of it and I don't have any independence. That feels like somebody would have control over me, and I don't like that.
Oh my God, 100%.
They were talking a lot about how Sutton was. It's interesting when you see the episode.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Yeah. Last question. Who out of Vanderpump, whose husband or wife out of Vanderpump and Miami would you think you'd best partner up with?
Dr. Nicole's husband.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did
I knew
you?
you were going to say that. I knew it. I knew it.
Really?
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of options here.
I know. I knew you were going to say that.
Okay, I'm
I
impressed.
knew you were going to say that.
Wow.
You love her so much.
I think she's great.
I know. I like
Very
her
even
outfits.
keeled. I like her.
Yeah. Okay. Mine would be Russell, obviously.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And
Who'd be second, I guess?
if not Russell, then definitely Martina.
Oh my
Martina
God, love
seems
that.
like she would put up with my shit the most.
I love how impressed Andy is by her.
She's so cool.
Like, Andy loves her, and like, all hail. I love that for Andy.
Yeah. I know. She's
Yeah, well, I guess-
yeah.
I guess I'm gonna go watch this Drake video. Just kidding.
Kyle's there.
I know. Get it.
Anyway, we'll be back next week, friends, with an all-new episode of Bonded by Bravo. Till then,
Goodbye. Wow, I can't believe I made it through this, actually.
you made it. Now you can sleep.
Oof.
Bye, friends.
Okay, bye.